Everyone, and welcome to another edition of TaiLunTan, the public dialogue hosted by the Tai Initiative, where we discuss topics pertinent to U.S.-China relations. This is broadcasting live, so for our listening audience, if you want to send in any questions, you can do so by emailing admin@taiinitiative.org. That's TAI initiative.org. Today's TaiLunTan is about citizen diplomacy and opportunities we have this month with the Lunar New Year celebrations. And joining us today is Diane Rasmussen, the director of the Center for Citizen Diplomacy based in Des Moines, Iowa. You can check out their website at centerforcitizendiplomacy.org. Hello, Diane.
Hello, Ben. Thanks for having me here today.
So joining her for discussion is our executive director, Carson Tavenner. He's based in Seattle, Washington. Hello, Carson.
Hello, Ben. Thanks very much for helping us today.
Great. So Dan, we'd like to hear from you first. The Center for Citizen Diplomacy unites organizations that are committed to advancing purposeful global engagement at the person-to-person, people-to-people, P2P level, providing them with this common platform to share, participate, and learn in this important community. And this is wonderful to hear because it speaks to right to the heart of what the Tai Initiative is working to strengthen in the U.S.-China relationship specifically. So could you tell us more about the mission of your center, please?
Absolutely. Thanks, Ben. That was a great explanation of our mission there, a great summary of it. But really, the Center for Citizen Diplomacy was founded to really, as you said, unite this movement towards purposeful global engagement at a people-to-people level. So it's really bringing together the voices of all the hundreds and really thousands of organizations who promote people-to-people engagement across cultures, like the Tai Initiative, and giving them platforms and opportunities to learn and really create a collective space to amplify their message and get more individuals involved in this work. So that's really what we do. I mean, the whole field of diplomacy really is no longer the purview of our official government diplomats anymore. It's really the opportunity for every individual to get involved across cultures because we live in such a global world. We have neighbors and colleagues and community members who are part of different cultures in every community we live in. So it's very easy to get involved, and we really need more people to understand the importance of that.
Diane, we're really thankful to be a part of this network, and as you know, we're only kind of just beginning to explore our opportunities in it, and we are interested in getting to find out who else within the network is working on China-related topics. Maybe someday in a hangout like this, we can have a continuing dialogue on where people have seen successes and why they've had those successes with their organizations as they have sought to encourage citizens, both American citizens and Chinese citizens, to become citizen diplomats. So I hope that someday we can host that China-oriented discussion specifically in this with you and others in the network again.
I think as part of what the center does, as part of its mission, we launched the Citizen Diplomacy Network. Just for our audience, we launched this in 2014, and the Tai Initiative is a wonderful addition to that network because of your focus on U.S.-China relations and just the growth and importance and the rise of China in the world economy and just in population. This has just become so much more important, and so it's wonderful to have you as part of the network and to really be able to speak and add your expertise to the relations with China. So we're very pleased to have you as a member.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to ask you some questions for our listening audience's sake and for our learning as well about the nature of how much there seems to be a response or a lack of response to people wanting to learn or wanting to be citizen diplomats. I think it's really easy for your average American to understand and agree that it's important that we learn how to be diplomatic as citizens, and knowing how to implement that specifically is sometimes another challenge. And I perceive that that's a major thrust of what CCD wants to be able to help teach people in a broad functional sense. But I know, at least just from our own struggles, that it's not a case where people are just beating down the door looking for training in this. It doesn't seem to have the sense of urgency on a lot of minds. But as you just said, the U.S.-China relationship is so critical. If there's anything that's going to go well in the 21st century or anything that's going to go poorly, it's going to go well or poorly in large measure because of the degree to which China and the United States have weighed in together or not together on the issue. Is there anything that you could share with us from your perspective as the center trying to bring the message of citizen diplomacy? Is there anything you'd share with us about the challenges that are facing our country right now in inspiring citizens to want to pick up the baton, if you will?
Absolutely. So, speaking from the surveys and the feedback we receive from organizations who are working in the field, there's really they're echoing what you're saying. First of all, that their top challenge is really a lack of awareness among citizens of the importance of getting involved globally. There's still, with access 24/7 to the world through technology, there's still really lack of awareness among individuals about how important it is to reach out across borders, across cultures, and learn about each other and develop those strong relationships, and that they can really have an impact on that. So that would be the top challenge that we're trying to address. The second challenge that organizations tell me is funding. Obviously, a lot of these organizations, like the Tai Initiative, and 90% of our organizations that we work with are nonprofit organizations or higher ed institutional programs such as study abroad or international programs on college and university campuses. So they're definitely working with limited funds, and so that's always a challenge for organizations. And number three, I would say that we hear is the ability to quickly respond to changing technologies that really help to get their message out. So all the new social media opportunities that are constantly coming online. When you're working with a limited budget, it's difficult to keep up with all of that and have staff and resources on board to implement and take advantage of those, especially for the smaller organizations. So really those are three things that the center tries to help meet those challenges. And we do that through, all of our members have network listings on our website so that people have access to them and can find them, and that they can find each other. And we regularly promote their programs and activities via our own multiple social media platforms. So what this does is really become an extension of the organization's own marketing efforts to really help amplify their message. Members also have access to learning opportunities. And the intent of all this is really just to, again, nurture that collective voice for citizen diplomacy and grow the leadership of the field as a whole so that it can draw more exposure, more participants, volunteers, more support. I think in general, as far as like just a more global view of the challenges out there, I think really the biggest challenge is that we have so much more access to news through technology that people are seeing the unrest in certain areas of the world and the challenges that are faced collectively in poverty and disease and climate change, all of these global challenges that we're facing, and it's easy for people to want to turn inward when they see that, and there's fear created there, and that's really the opposite of what needs to be done. So the great news is that especially with our training on college campuses. The generation of millennials is really wants to be actively engaged. They understand that they're part of a global economy and that we're very interrelated. And I think we'll see more and more of them seeking the real knowledge of how to be a good citizen diplomat, and hopefully they'll come to the center and find you.
I'm really glad to hear you comment on how the millennial generation seems to be very desiring and aware of their role as global citizens. I have no doubt. I kind of see the same thing. I think it's easy to forget that just an interest and an awareness equates to skills and knowledge. And I have a feeling that this is the kind of area where we really need to help contribute to people's skills and knowledge. And with that in mind, I'd like to make sure that we take the opportunity here to also reflect then on what people can do this month. And from our perspective, this is an important month in Chinese culture because it's the month in which we see the Lunar New Year occur. And I'm sensing that more and more Americans these days are seeing evidence of Lunar New Year festivities around them in their communities. And comparing it to what happens in Thanksgiving, I'd like to have a little bit of a discussion with you about the idea of being citizen diplomats in an inbound and an outbound way. Last fall, we posted out a blog about what to do at Thanksgiving for inviting an international into your home. And I know that you enjoyed this article, and I hope that it was helpful to a lot of people to bring some practical specifics to how to invite in, what to do in your home, what to do at the conclusion of the event, so that the overall event was very satisfying and helpful for everyone. And because this is an example of trying to ask an international to come in, not just simply into your home, but into your culture to understand America while they're in America, that's what I mean by inbound diplomacy. This month, people have an opportunity to practice an outbound form of diplomacy. The Lunar New Year celebrations aren't just for the Asian American communities where they may be getting held. People have a lot of opportunities to, I hope that people have an opportunity somewhere within their region to find and go participate in one of these festivals. I know we're going to do that next Saturday. I suspect you might even have one in your area.
We're reaching the 15-minute mark, and I would like to say that having you on our program, Diane, has been a real privilege, and we thank you for your time and dedication with us. And we'd like to wish you a happy Lunar New Year, and we'll be in touch. Thank you also to our listening audience. A reminder that a future TaiLunTan, you can participate in this dialogue by emailing questions to admin@tainitiative.org and advance the program. We welcome public engagement on all these important processes and civil dialogue, and thank you once again, everyone. My name is Ben Leffel. I'm the Director of Research for Tai Initiative, and this has been TaiLunTan.
Hey, Diane, thanks for your time. It's been great to see you, and keep up the good work. We'll see you again.
Thank you, Carson. Thank you, Ben. And I hope that everyone gets out there and gets involved in their own communities for the Lunar New Year. I know right here in Des Moines we've got a Chinese Association of Iowa, and I will be there for the festival.
That is great. Yeah, they're a fantastic organization.
Yes, well, yeah.
Ask them about joining our next TaiLunTan, perhaps.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ben.